Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Oman-US Free Trade Agreement seminar discusses in Muscat the increase of the volume of investments between the two countries. The State Council discusses legislations of governing national manpower in private sector. And excelled participants and the winners of clubs competition for youth creativity in the wilayas of South Al-Batina are honored. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in details. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena of Sri Lanka in reply to His Majesty's congratulatory cable on the occasion of him being elected as the President of the Republic. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry, in collaboration with Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the U.S. Embassy in Muscat, organized an awareness seminar on Oman-U.S. Free Trade Agreement at OCC premises today. More details in the following report by Huda Al-Jahwariya.
The seminar focused on the available investment opportunities in both countries in light of the Free Trade Agreement. It included a presentation on the legal aspects of Oman-USA Free Trade Agreement, as well as the fields which the Omani companies can benefit from and the cooperation with the U.S. companies, especially those registered with USA. The OCCI chairman delivered a speech during which he pointed out that the seminar reflects the growing interest in enhancing the Oman-US relations and following up the optimum utilization of the Oman-US Free Trade Agreement. He added that this seminar basically targets businessmen who play a role in developing business sector. The agreement revealed that Omani local exports to the American market are limited in spite of signing it. Latest statistics indicate that the volume of American investments in the Sultanate exceed $1 billion and are expected to increase in the coming period. Statistics further illustrate that American exports to the Sultanate have increased by 26%, whereas Omani exports to the U.S. also rose by 60%.
So one of the things we're doing to improve trade between our two countries is working very closely government to educate the private sector companies from both countries on how to use the Free Trade Agreement as a tool for expanding trade and commerce. We want to make it easier and more understandable. It's a very long, complicated document that both countries signed in 2009. So this is just the first step on our educate Omani and American businesses in Oman and in the States about how to do business together using the Free Trade Agreement as a tool.
The seminar highlighted the major legal aspects and how to benefit from the articles of the agreement. According to the agreement, it's expected to lift all tariff and non-tariff barriers in 2018.
The State Council, represented by the Human Resources Development Committee, launched a seminar on revising legislations governing national manpower in the private sector and under the patronage of Honorable Sheikh Khalid bin Sultan Al Husni, Deputy Chairman of the State Council. The two-day seminar, in which a number of public and private institutions will take part, aims at finding an appropriate mechanism to empower the national manpower at the private sector and providing them with high competitive capabilities and skills to face changes of the work market. Through organizing this seminar, the committee seeks to come up with important recommendations that will enrich the topic of its study on revising legislations governing national manpower in private sector and presenting solutions in light of the current situations of the national manpower at the private sector. With the aim of introducing Iranian experience and benefit from it in the field of business incubators, the event's Business Incubators Management and Scientific Areas Workshop, organized by the Scientific Research Council in cooperation with Isfahan City for Science and Technology, was inaugurated. The workshop focused on adopting innovations and scientific thoughts, in addition to provide suitable support for innovators in transforming their thoughts, to real products that benefit individuals and the society. The workshop included also a visual show in Muscat Innovation Park project as incubating environment for innovation and moving towards knowledge economy. The 7th International Conference on Health Issues in Arab Communities continued its scientific forum at Al Bustan Palace Hotel. I was present at the event and made this report. The International Conference on Health Issues, organized by the Arab Community Center for Economic and Social Service in collaboration with the Ministry of Health of the Sultanate of Oman, continued its scientific activities on its third day, where a number of concurrent sessions held in the morning and afternoon focused on medical education, trauma, ethics and palliative care, and public health education, all of which witnessed intense discussions with a commitment to prevent disease, reduce health disparities, and promote wellness in the community at large, with the ultimate goal to enhance international partnerships that will improve health outcomes in the Middle East and North Africa MENA region. Professor Omar Al-Rawas, Dean of Sultan Qaboos Medical College, and Dr. Salim Tobi, Dean of Oman Nursing Institute at the Ministry of Health, they have this to say.
It is very positive that Oman hosts such big conferences, and in particular this conference, which talks about health issues in Arab communities, actually in USA, but they are really shared the same communities like the Arabs, like in here, and so there are lots of Arab scholars from USA, and also the scholars from Oman sharing the challenges for health and how to tackle them. I think it's a very important platform for collaboration between our scientists and the scientists in the USA.
Right. Today is, of course, the third day. Dr. Salim, what would you like to tell us about this third day? And I believe today you have presented as well.
Actually, my involvement was with moderating and presenting a topic on palliative care. As my colleague Dr. Omar said, that this interaction and this involvement helped us in building our capacity as professionals working in a multidisciplinary healthcare team. And we have learned a lot from our colleagues from the United States, from different parts of the world, and our colleagues here in Oman about approaches of care in our region.
Dr. Omar, what do you expect the outcome of this conference would be?
First, as I mentioned about the networking, I have already been the Dean of the College of Medicine at Sultan Qaboos University. I have already been approached by many of the participants from USA, and we have already also planned meetings either within this week and also in the future. So we expect increased collaboration.
I think what we learned here is that we are experiencing what the world is doing and what we are doing here in Oman, and we are very happy to note that we are moving very solid steps to the right direction.
Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television. And still to come in our news bulletin, activities of youth creativity are concluded in Attifaq Sports Club in the Governorate of North Sharqiya.
سنتر يقدم لك تنزيلات مذهلة تتراوح من 20 إلى 70% على المفروشات والأثاث المنزلي. أسرع إلى أي من متاجرنا في سيتي سنتر مسقط، الخوير، صحار أو جاردنز مول في صلالة، ولا تفوت الفرصة.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Australia is to send more troops to Iraq to help train local security forces in their battle against the Daesh group, Prime Minister Tony Abbott announced today. The deployment of 300 Australian troops to the Taji military base north of Baghdad is part of a joint Australian-New Zealand training mission. Tony Abbott had this to say.
I want to stress that we haven't taken this decision lightly. Ultimately, it is Iraq that must defeat the death cult, but we do not want to leave the Iraqis on their own. We are naturally reluctant as a peace-loving people to reach out to faraway conflicts, but as we know, this conflict has been reaching out to us for months now. Mark? We don't expect to be doing the Iraqis fighting for them. This is a training mission, not a combat mission. Nevertheless, it is a mission which is necessary because obviously in the face of the initial death cult onslaught, the Iraqi regular army melted like snow in summer. Now, that's been a disaster for the people of Iraq, millions of whom now live in a new dark age. It's been a disaster for the people of the wider world, including the people of Australia.
Police in Los Angeles fatally shot a homeless man on Skid Row during a brutal videotaped struggle. The LA police chief said that during the struggle, a Rocky officer cried out that the man had hold of his gun before other 3 officers opened fire. The police chief said the video showed the man was reaching towards the officer's waistband. The officer's gun was found partly cooked and jammed with a bullet in the chamber and another in the ejection port, indicating a struggle for the weapon. The police chief said that all of the officers involved in the incident had undertaken extensive training in how to deal with mentally ill suspects. The incident has sparked outrage among civil rights activists and members of the Skid Row homeless community who view the incident as a misuse of police force. Wildfires continued to rage for a 3rd day in the mountains surrounding the South African city of Cape Town. Multiple fires have broken out in the mountains of Muizenberg, a beach suburb of the city, spreading rapidly to surrounding areas. Helicopters were dropping water over the affected areas as firefighters battled to put out the fires and prevent further spreading. Occupants of the Noordhoek Manor retirement village were evacuated and temporarily housed in a nearby church. Police have blocked off some roads to prevent residents from venturing into areas affected by the fires. The Acre River has continued to swell beyond historic levels in western Brazil, forcing thousands of people from their homes and affecting more than 70,000 people in the city of Rio Branco alone. Classes were cancelled yesterday at Rio Branco schools and all essential government services were left open as the river flooded entire neighborhoods in the city, the capital of the western Acre state. Electricity has also been cut in parts of the city affected by the severe flooding. More than 18,000 homes and countless businesses were almost completely submerged in flood water as the river and its tributaries invaded the city. The Sultan, represented in the Minister of Education, celebrated Gulf Talent and Creativity Day, which aimed to highlight efforts of talented students and encourage them to creativity. The celebration included creativity and talents exhibition, which was held in Al Amal Deaf School. The exhibition also contained pictures painted by the students, in addition to some photos taken by them. It is worth mentioning that the Sultan is celebrated on this day for the first time, which falls on the 3rd of March every year. Conversion factors to public company and reviewing a number of international experiences highlighted the discussions of second day of the 3rd Capital Markets Forum, empowering private business towards long-term sustainability. The forum introduced a special guide in wording contributors' agreements and applying healthy legal practices to achieve the benefits. A number of experts and specialists in private and family companies besides decision markers participated in the forum. The Ministry of Civil Service will announce tomorrow, Wednesday, 600 vacancies at the different ministries and government units governed by the Civil Service Law and its executive bylaws. In its statement, the ministry explained that these vacancies cover different qualifications and specialties. They will include 1 vacancy for the MA holders, 168 for bachelor degree holders, 144 for the post-secondary diploma holders, 4 for the vocational diploma holders, 59 for the general education degree holders, and 224 for lower grades. The announcement will include 2% of vacancies for the disabled, 13 of the announced vacancies. The statement pointed out that workers at the private sector can apply for these vacancies as per the decision of the Council of Ministers. 400 male and female youth from different wilayas of the Governorate of South Al-Batina interacted with the club's competitions for youth creations, which were concluded today by honoring the excelled participants and the winners of the competition. It touched upon cultural, social and artistic aspects. The concluding ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Hilal bin Saeed Al-Hajri, Governor of South Al-Batina. Activities of youth creativity are concluded in Al-Ittifaq Sports Club in the Governorate of North Sharqiya. The events aim to take care of youth talents in various artistic and literary fields as well as cultural competitions. The conclusion ceremony included exhibition contained pictures and artistic drawings which reflected their abilities in different fields. And now for the general weather forecast. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog in the Governorate of South and North Sharqiya and Al-Wusta. Winds along the coast overlooking Sea of Oman will be northeasterly light to moderate, while rest of the Sultanate it will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be slight to moderate with the maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and now before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Oman-US Free Trade Agreement seminar discusses in Muscat the increase of the volume of investments between the two countries. The State Council discusses legislation governing national manpower at private sector. And excelled participants and the winners of club's competition for youth creativity in the wilayas of South Al-Batina are honored. With that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.